Welcome to Let's Set Your Table, the food service and hospitality podcast that brings you the experts, trending news, and product reviews from across the industry. So grab a chair with your hosts and join us as we set your table.
On episode 3, I visit with Matt Murray, Director of Sales at Anchor Packaging, and Jack Hode, Senior Vice President of the Hode Group. We discuss who Anchor is and what they're known for, and what value Anchor brings to the operator in the food service and hospitality industry. Listen in as Matt shares with us some incredibly exciting news at Anchor and the strategic offense they played during the pandemic while everyone else was struggling to stay in the game. In fact, Anchor Packaging is actually wide open for business today. And can you believe this? Have product ready to ship in their warehouses. Jack also tells us why Anchor is one of the best packaging lines in our portfolio and why he has worked with hundreds of operators over the years and help them sell more food with Anchor and assist them in growing their revenue stream. Do you just want to buy packaging or do you want to sell more food? Matt shares the triple T effect, texture, the taste, and right temperature, and why they're so important to you as an operator and the success of your takeout home delivery program for reorders in the future. He also shares with us a specific line at Anchor that is taking the industry by storm, using their patented cutting-edge packaging technology. Actually, it's so good that it was recognized by C-stores and have won an award for this packaging in the industry today. So grab a chair and join us at the table today, and let us help you set your table. This episode of Let's Set Your Table podcast is brought to you by the Hode Group Chicago showroom. Our Chicago showroom is 3,000 square feet right out of a food service operator's dream, located in the heart of the Fulton Market District in Chicago's West Loop. Check out thousands of commercial food service products, from tabletop items to customer furniture options, buffet equipment, takeout packaging, kitchen automation, disposables. We've got front and back of house apparel and way more. HGI sales reps are available to help you make the most of your visit. Schedule an appointment with one of our food service and tabletop professionals today at HodeGroupChicagoShowroom.com. Also brought to you by the Hode Group. For over 40 years, our team of dedicated sales professionals have prided ourselves on bringing the most innovative and reliable brands of commercial food service products to caterers, hotels, restaurateurs, national chains, local mom and pop shops, and healthcare facilities. Learn more about what we can do for your business at thehodegroup.com. Now, I'm your host, John D., and we're back at the table today. With me is Matt Murray, Director of Sales at Anchor Packaging, and Jack Hode, Senior Vice President of the Hode Group. Gentlemen, welcome. So, Matt, let's get right at it. Perhaps those listening don't know who Anchor is, but I'm sure many do. Who is Anchor Packaging, Matt, and what value does Anchor deliver to the food service and hospitality industry?
So Anchor Packaging, we are one of the largest producers of rigid non-foam containers and flexible film packaging. So when I talk about flexible film packaging, today's consumer would identify that as, say, saran wrap. But we're really here to talk about today is our food packaging. We do it the best in the industry. What we're known for is innovation. So a lot of the product, whether you see it in the national accounts, commercial side, retail or processor side, we were the first to introduce the innovation. And what we do best as far as the value is concerned is that our packaging preserves the life of the food the best. So it gives the consumer, when it gets to wherever it goes, say the home, they're going to have the best overall experience because that food is going to be exactly what they paid for, and it's going to have the right texture and taste as well. Overall, we're a very innovative company, and I know we'll probably dig into that a little bit more too as through this podcast.
Jack, how long has the Hode Group represented Anchor? And in your opinion, why Anchor in your portfolio?
Well, easily 20 years. I think maybe closer to 22 years. We had a packaging line. The Hode Group had a packaging line. And it turned out that it was thought to be what's the word I'm looking for, John? It was thought to be a conflict with one of our other packaging lines. So we had to make a move. We resigned what we thought was a great packaging line, and Rich and I were without a go-to line for carryout packaging. We were without. So we looked around a little bit, and we saw the strength of Anchor and the material that they use, and we were quite familiar with the core material, and we introduced ourselves. We knew some of the people at Anchor already, and at a restaurant show, I can't tell you the exact year, but it's around 22 years ago that we went up to them and said, we are interested. And then we had interviews, and Rich and I were lucky enough to land Anchor because it is, in my opinion, the premier packaging line in the industry.
Absolutely.
So 22 years, okay, give or take a couple of years.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Matt, how long have you been with Anchor?
I've been with Anchor for just about 3.5 years. So yes, and joined at the right time, right?
I know. Well, with that being said, with all that's happened over the last 3 years, especially the last two, Matt, with supply chain shortages and different substrates, I understand that you can bring us some good news today. So what's the current state in your company, and what steps of improvement, I guess, has Anchor made in this challenging marketplace and time?
Yeah, so last year was not a whole lot of good news, and, we are able to do that today, but I'll kind of go back as to how we got there. We recognized as a company that, prepared meals to go curbside pickup was trending upward, and it was to be a part of, everyday life and what consumers drove to. So we actively made capital investments, up to $50 million to be able to support the demand that was coming. Little did we know how much it would shift, obviously, when the pandemic happened. But we planted seeds, we have plans. We spent money to bring in 8 new machines to capitalize on the demand that's out there. We also invested in our labor strategy, which everybody knows last year was a tough year with labor. We made a concerted effort to plan ahead, and not gloating, but the timing worked out right. We were persistent, and we wanted to see it through. So last year, even though we had supply shortages, labor issues, and everything else, we were building for offense. We knew that if everything worked out, that we would be the first, company to come out ahead the rest of our competitive set. With all that happening, the timing being right, everything that we did as far as just we're passionate about what we do. We believe in our company. And now today I can talk to anybody, whether it's a distributor or an end user, and let them know that we can support your new business demand. We've gained 35% more capacity, and we're continuing to invest in our company. We have plans to add, I said 8 new machines, and we have plans to add 2 more by the end of August with a planned expansion of 100,000 square feet. So we're continuing to invest to support our customers to make sure that they know when they're choosing Anchor, obviously because we have the best packaging in the industry to preserve the life of the food, is that we can support your business without interruption.
Jack, that is awesome news. Again, Jack, maybe from a broker and manufacturer rep perspective, as we work with industry pros, end users, and operators, why is what Matt just shared with us so important?
Well, I can share at the operator level the confidence that I have in Anchor's ability to understand the importance of steady stream of supply. Okay, that's number one. Okay, if you like what we show you, if it shows you how to sell more food, we can do it more than once. We can do it from this point forward. Okay, that's why it's important to me. I can go with any distributor rep or one-on-one with an operator and speak confidently that what the customer sees and likes in front of them during our presentation is going to be available to them a year from now versus just their next order. That's the key point for me.
Great. Well, we all know over the last few years, it's been very difficult in the food service business, and survival has been challenging. Matt, we understand that you've tooled up and that's great news, but what also has Anchor learned through this season? And can you give us an example?
Yeah, I guess, as Anchor's learnings go, obviously last year was tough to deliver, bad news where we're at. We were in the process of, shorting customers, and, what do you do? Are you out in front? Are you out in front of that? I think good companies with good leaders, they're out in front of it. It's easy to be around and visible when there's good times, right? It's easier to be out in front, but you really kind of shows what company you're working for, the people you're working with when the tough times come. And that was definitely evident in 2021. And, we took the stance of, we're going to push forward. We're going to deliver the news as far as managing expectations. It's where we're at. And we're going to continue to over communicate. And I think that did us very well because people appreciate that. So it gave them an opportunity to plan ahead as much as possible. My biggest learning is the fact that we did that and customers appreciated that because we were giving them the true expectations was what was going on in the industry. And you'd be surprised, even though it's everywhere out there on the news, how many people do not really understand what's going on. So we were very transparent through all the interactions. So I think when we talk to our customers and users, today, they will echo those comments. They're very appreciative of it. So again, I appreciate the leadership of our company, the Hode Group, and everybody else that represents Anchor Packaging and making sure that we were setting the true expectations to the customer.
Absolutely.
So another point that I'd like to bring up, caused by the pandemic, another positive takeaway on the operator side, and that Anchor realizes. Prior to the pandemic, we were all out trying to sell Anchor products and do it the best way possible by improving food quality and the experience on takeaway food. There were some operators that got it, or many of them got it, but they also had the insurance policy of diners coming in and sitting in their restaurants and eating. And carryout packaging was not looked upon the same pre-pandemic than it is post-pandemic. During the pandemic, it was a lifeline. Operators were able to stay in business, pay their staff, keep their name in front of the customers. But now that people are back in the restaurants eating, the operators can see that it's truly expanding the borders of their restaurant. They're truly expanding their reach because now people are coming in to eat. People know that they can get this food really well prepared at home if they want to stop in to pick it up or use third-party delivery services. But only now is the operator going to figure out, and they are figuring out that, wait a minute, this is really a boom to my business now because I'm enjoying 75, 80% fill in my restaurants, and I'm turning it 3 to 4 times, and I'm getting carry out from people that have never given me carry out before. I have 2 real positive streams of income.
So with that being said, Matt, Jack brings up a great point. What obstacles have these operators faced or are facing and still experiencing with their off-premise dining programs or takeout?
First and foremost, it was availability, right? They had to shift to plastic wasn't available. They had to shift to paperboard, to aluminum, et cetera. So that was, not easy to manage, with everything that they was going through, whether they were experiencing labor shortages, et cetera. So, but obviously, as I've spoken, we have the good news is we've solved that issue as far as availability is concerned. And I'm sure Jack would agree with this, is that the biggest issue they have is replicating the on-premise dining experience where in a 30-minute window, wherever that is, to the home. They pay a premium. Their expectations are high now more than ever. Some operators do it better than others, but they want to make sure that when they get that food at home, it's as simple as, it has what I call the triple T effect. It has the texture, the taste, and the right temperature. Okay, so that is the goal, because when that all that aligns and that consumer has a wonderful experience, they reorder. Okay, if they don't have experience, and I'm sure we've all had that, is that we tend not to go back to that place that didn't put in a good effort into the importance of how that product travels, the food travels, and how it gets to the home. That's a huge obstacle. But obviously, we're the best at it. We offer the solutions, we offer the right packaging, and we can help that operator, turn those, their to-go business into repeat orders. And that's what our whole goal is, to really give the operator consultative advice as how that packaging can look in a 30-minute window to the consumer.
Great point. So Jack, as you know, we at the Hode Group, we offer and bring to market several different substrates to our industry. Where do you think, based on what Matt just said, where do you think that the Anchor brand best fits in? What space? Is it just QSRs? Is it fine dining? Or is this just a universal great solution?
Well, I like the universal great solution because we all have big successes with QSR. We have big successes with fine dining, okay, because of the heft of the product, and some people are getting $45 for a carry-out steak or lobster, okay. So I think it covers everything. I can go to a success story here on the QSR side. There's a little place in the city on I think it's on Dearborn, and well, it doesn't matter. It's in the Loop and it's on the corner. It's called Big Wig Taco. The guy was using a product that was not keeping the food hot, and most of his customers were eating as they walked to their next destination, either be it the train station or to go meet somebody, or just strolling in downtown Chicago. And we showed them Anchor, and it was the operational ease of Anchor and the quality of the food 20 minutes after the people picked it up. And his business is putting a combination of meat, cheese, and beans together in different, and lettuce and tomatoes and salsa in different combinations, and calling them 6 different things. And everything tasted exactly like you're eating it in the restaurant. Okay. And it's growing. The guy has a second operation now in near Wrigley Field. And he's a customer. I stop in, we talk. I ask him, what else can we do? And he gives me, we can bounce ideas off. When packaging works, the operator wants to talk. He wants to say, what else can we do? I know it works. What else? What have you seen? And when you get a customer talking about his business and about what's next, then you've hit the home run. And that's what Anchor really allows me to do, is for the customer to talk to me about the successes they're having, and asking me, bringing me into, or bringing me onto his side of the table, saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What if I wanted to do this? Could this container do what I want to do? Then you've hit the home run.
Excellent point. So Matt, can you give us an example based on what Jack just said? Because I think it's, for those operators in our audience listening, I think it's kind of important that maybe we mention to them maybe something in your packaging portfolio that you can share where, based on your 3 T's, that can replicate that in-house restaurant dining experience. As we know, quality is number one. I mean, that's should be the goal, and is probably the goal for everybody in the food service business, because we get that repeat business. What product line in your lineup is the absolute go-to, do you think, for the packaging bundle?
So I'll start by saying, the number one food sold into restaurants is fries, right? And everybody knows that it's extremely difficult to get for fries to maintain that taste, texture, and temperature as to when it gets to the end user, to the consumer. But it's a problem that, people that are operators echo all the time. If I had that perfect container, it would solve me a lot of issue. It would give that complete dining experience as a customer. Often if you get fries that are soggy, that come in foam, It's typically, it's hard to get those crisped up. So the operator has to take it out of the foam, so has to put it in the oven, heat it up. So there's extra steps to that process. Fries, fried food, on down the line, fried chicken, it could be anywhere from a hamburger bun not being soggy. And again, we talked about fries, but we have a container. It's called Chris Food Technologies. It's the best container out in the business that'll keep the texture, taste, and the temperature of the food, replicate that dining experience to when it gets home. No one else has this technology like it. We have 2,000 plus users on it. Now that we're open for business, it's become another surge of people are interested in getting back to really focusing on their takeout program. So what Chris Food does, it has multiple vents, but basically what it does is it takes the moisture out of there, out of the container as possible. So the end result, it'll keep that food hot and crispy in a 30-minute window, sometimes more than that. Again, we've had it tested. There's been a resurgence of it because of the fact that we can bring on new business. Chris Food Technology, no one has anything else like it. And it's something that it comes out of my bag every time I talk to an end user or meet with an end user. That's my go-to. So
yeah, I just presented it this week, and it basically just places itself in that operator's portfolio because it does deliver the goods. I also understand that, correct me if I'm wrong, but recently you've been recognized in an industry in our business and won an award for that really innovative cutting edge food packaging technology, which is called Chris Foods, right? Was that through the C-store industry? Did I understand?
Yes, so great question. So the C-store industry is, they've done, the good, businesses out there that recognize the whole prepared meal aspect have expanded their portfolio, and they've done a really, really good job of getting past, we only sell, just gasoline and cigarettes or tobacco. They become a destination for a lot of folks to get their groceries. They've really evolved, and that's the direction they're going. So our Chris Foods Fry Baby, as you were alluding to, is we won an award, and it's basically from the Convenience Store Association. We've won more awards along the way, but we continue to be recognized for our Chris Food technology because it works. I recommend that everybody tests it at the operator level. That chef, that director of restaurants, whatever the title may be that's involved in that, is the head turner because it truly works. Mm-hmm. Put it next to your current packaging and our packaging, and you temperature test it. You really do your due diligence, and it is absolute contrast. Good contrast is what our Chris Foods container does. So I imagine we'll continue to win awards because no one else has technology like that for fried foods.
So Matt and John, this Chris Foods technology allows us to bring up the points to the customer. Do you want to buy packaging or do you want to sell food?
Great point.
And, we will succeed with people who want to buy packaging because eventually they're going to sell more food and realize it for themselves because they have better food leaving their restaurant. Okay. I think in Matt's earlier sharing, he used the term repeat orders. God, I got to tell you, repeat orders and selling more food go hand in hand. And we are always mindful of a customer's budget. Sometimes I like to ask, what's your budget, Mr. Customer? But can you imagine your present budget with less food sales? Okay, so if you increase your budget, but your food sales are exponentially increased due to repeat orders, satisfied dining experience at home, aka Chris Foods technology, then we're really doing our job. Anchor Packaging. We are a destination. Got to have these guys in to talk to us about our carryout program. So increasing the quality of the food, assuring source of supply, and really recognizing the fact that the customer is going to call you more than once for an order, the old country radio station, John, we said it before, okay? WIFM, what's in it for me?
For me.
Okay. Well, we can tell the customer what's in it for them, and we can use Matt's terms of repeat orders and selling more food. All of a sudden, not that we're gonna be the worst price product, but that becomes marginal. It becomes a marginal issue. Okay. Operators without more food sales, okay, and developing larger borders through carryout are going to be left behind. Anchor's the answer for those people who want to increase their food sales, serve better food, and always, just like my fella on the corner there downtown Chicago, bring us into conversations about new food ideas. Matt Murray, Jack Hode, John DiTerlizzi, anybody selling Anchor packaging, we are actually food salespeople. We sell food. We just happen to be able to do it because of a company called Anchor Packaging.
Well said. So, gents, I want to ask you a question. What do you see right now in the future as we go forward in the industry? Give us the real truth, the good, bad, and the ugly. I think we just got through the ugly. That's my opinion. Matt, what do you see as we go forward?
So, I see that, it's not going to be as trying as 2021. I think it's going to get better. In some areas it's going to be a struggle. But I will tell you that, delivery food sales is going to be comprised of 70% of takeout sales by 2023. So it's going to continue to be a focus at the operator level. As Jack said, if you need to have a good takeout program, because that's going to be the mainstay of your business staying afloat, you have to focus on it. And obviously, we've been conditioned over the past 2 years to order takeout. It's not going to go away. It's going to continue to grow. And with Anchor Packaging, I would strongly recommend that we be a part of your takeout program. We'll invest in that. We'll do the research for you. We'll look at your menu mix. We'll consolidate your SKUs, your current SKUs of what you have at your in your kitchen. We'll do all that for you. But I see that it's going to continue to grow. I know that things can happen, that are out of our control. But all in all, we have to stay positive and focus on that part of the business, and we're going to continue to do that. But it's not going away. The focus will continue on takeout programs.
Jack, what say you?
I'm just going to. I think Matt is spot on. It's going to become more and more important to the operator. The operator just now, because again, I go to my previous point. The operator just now is realizing the value of expanding the borders of their restaurant and selling consistently better quality food, because again, while they're doing it with a full dining room, they are really hitting on all cylinders, okay? Or they're really plugging in the electric car to the right outlet instead of hitting all cylinders, okay?
Matt, let's talk real quick as we wrap up. Those operators and end users listening, how easy is sampling? What is your policy? And do you encourage these operators to test your product?
Most definitely. We need everybody's buy-in. We need everybody's buy-in, from the person that's making the food to the decision makers. We are definitely very generous in giving out samples. If you need a case to test out for a day, if you need cases to test out at multi-units, whether it's independent, we are definitely generous with samples. And please do not hesitate to ask for samples. They will always be at your availability. So highly encourage it. Get it in your hands, put your food items in there, put it next to your current containers, and you will see it'll be an eye-opening experience that you'll have a better food product at the operator level, and as keep saying, is at the consumer destination. But yes, samples we love giving out samples.
Jack, any closing comments as we wrap up?
No, I want to thank Matt, because Matt leads me. Sometimes he has to hear my rants on the phone, and we talk about a lot of issues. You know, it's not every conversation when you're talking about supplying packaging is always a pleasant conversation. Matt is the easiest fellow with me to work to of everybody I represent, just about. Packaging makes it easy for me to be in front of the customer. Anchor really makes it easy for me to be in front of the customer. I'm complete when I have Anchor in my trunk. It's that easy.
Well said. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today here at Let's Set Your Table. We're going to leave it right here. If you'd like to reach any of us here at the Hode Group or Matt Murray at Anchor Packaging, please check out the show notes for our contact information attached in this podcast. We encourage you to send us any feedback, questions, or topics you have an interest in or would like to discuss. Also, please like, follow, and share the Let's Set Your Table podcast. And if you're so moved, we'd be grateful if you leave us a positive review on Google, Spotify, or Apple.
Please join us again for another episode of Let's Set Your Table. If you would like more information, samples, or would like to consult with the Hode Group, visit thehodegroup.com. That's HODE group.com.